Let me know when you're ready.
If you will bear with us, the rabbi is running a little bit late. He should be here very soon. Don't go away.
Hi, Wayne. Hi, Paul, how are you?
Good, how you?
It's on.
Oh, well. Goodbye, Shalom.
It's on? I don't think. Yeah, now it's on. Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos.
Surprise, it's not the end of the service. It's not even the beginning quite yet. Rabbi was delayed. He'll be here in just a little bit. So actually, I think he just got here, but I want to let you know, instead of doing the announcements at the end of the service, I'll do it now to fill in a little time and to please remind everyone to get in your Seder reservations as soon as you can, because we are getting booked up. We're doing the second Seder. Information is on the website. You can sign on online, and if you have people that you want to sit with, because we will be arranging for seating, you'll let us know, and we will make out the place cards for you with your table number on it. As well, only one more thing, two more things actually. Sunday is Purim. Yay. Come to temple at 3:00. We are very blessed to have a very talented, two new talented members, the Greens, Josh and Dara Green. And Josh has written the music and the lyrics and the entire play of the Purim spiel. That's a lot of fun. There have been rehearsals going on. It is an absolute delight. That will be at 3:00, and right after Rabbi and Cantor will do their portion of celebrating. I know that Cantor is going to be doing some songs from out of the Megillah, which is very unusual. And of course, our rabbi is going to do his very best for all of us, which will include a discussion group afterwards, talking about the situation in Israel and Gaza, which is so important to each and every one of us. So please come Saturday, come on Sunday, come Saturday if you're able to, for our more traditional Shabbos service, and be with us. As well, we are participating, as we do every year, in the food drive, the Passover food drive for the Goodman Family Services. And they are going to be picking up our donations on April 1st. So we really just have a week to go. This is what they need the most. They need sweets. They need macaroons. They need the jelly candies, whatever we traditionally have for Pesach. They are feeding 300 people this Passover. If you can bring something sweet, that's great. They also need the individual size Kedem grape juice bottles. so that they can pass those out as well. Those are the most important things. And I see Rabbi, so I'm going to say,
Yay.
good Shabbos, yay, Rabbi.
300 who?
300 Jewish people in need.
But where do these people reside?
They are in plantation, out in the
Oh.
plantation,
Oh, locals.
Sunrise area.
Very
Yes,
nice.
yes.
Okay, well, that's a very important tzedakah, very important because it says in the Haggadah that you shall eat and be satisfied. But of course, they're talking about matzah, so the satisfaction quotient is...
Funny enough, they don't need matzah.
Yes, amazing.
They have matzah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Now, when I, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, sweetie.
Good job.
Good job. We'll light candles in a couple of minutes, and I can tell you who's going to be doing it. But every year I say to myself, okay, so we have Pesach and they have Easter, and they get chocolate bunnies, and they get jelly beans, and they get all kinds of chazarai, and what do we get?
Constipated.
Right, a matzah ball and maybe some charoset. Years ago, I recall, my father was on a lot of tzedakah lists. He gave to a number of yeshivas here, Baltimore, places like that. And one year they thought, this is the year that our yeshiva is going to be totally different. So they contracted with a manufacturer, and the manufacturer sent out foil packets with oh, thank you, sweetie. Foil packets with charoset in it, freeze-dried charoset. The idea was that you should pour a little wine on it and it would expand. So I had these mental pictures of Godzilla, charoset, taking over Baltimore or something like that. Okay, because I always wonder with those monster movies, why do they always beat up New York? They never beat up Chattanooga. Okay? All right, well, let's get started. We'll light Shabbat candles.
Chattanooga's inland and New York is on the seacoast, and everyone knows these monsters come from the ocean.
That's true, except King Kong. He came by ship.
Godzilla comes from the ocean.
Okay, all right?
All right.
Everybody please rise. We're lighting candles. Is this on? I don't think this is on.
Yep.
Yes,
It's on? Oh, it's on. Okay.
Come on.
We wave our hands, bring Shabbat, cover our eyes. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, le'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, b'mitzvotav. Vitzivanu, vitzivanu, lahadlik ner, vitzivanu, vitzivanu, hadlik ner, vitzivanu, vitzivanu, lahadlik ner, shel Shabbat. Amen. Thank you, good Shabbos. Okay. All right, you may be seated. Let's take a look at page 13. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharech, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'achem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Kadosh Baruch Hu. Tetem Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Nilech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'm sort of a YouTube aficionado, and most recently, if you've been watching YouTube at all, they've been showing these 3 or 4 minute long snippets featuring the Israeli army. And what you'll see is a bunch of soldiers, men for the most part, standing in a circle with their arms on each other's shoulders, and they're belting out some prayer or some song. And it occurred to me, these are young men who have pledged to give their lives to save the state of Israel. And it could happen in the next half hour, it could happen tomorrow afternoon. And I thought, well, we Jews in Golis, we Jews in the diaspora, at the very least we should sing with the same kind of ruach, the same kind of spirit. So I do recommend that you watch it. It's wonderful stuff. I don't understand a lot of the Hebrew because it's high-speed Israeli slang, military jargon, but it's just nice to see their faces. Wonderful young men and young women as well. All right, let's do the one at the bottom, shall we? Page 13. As always, this is Chaim Nachman Bialik. His particular distinction was he was one of the earliest poets to write in Hebrew. Of course, he started in Yiddish the way everybody else did, but he thought Hebrew would have more staying power. And he translated Lord Byron into Hebrew. I would love to read Lord Byron in Hebrew. It's quite a thing. Okay, let's try the English. The sun on the treetops no longer is seen again. The sun on the treetops no longer is seen. Come, let us welcome Shabbat, the true Queen. Behold her descending, the holy, the blessed, and with her God's angels of peace and of rest. Come now, dear Queen, with us abide. Come now, Shabbat our bride. Shalom Aleichem, angels of peace. All right, continuing. Yeah, it's kind of nice. I wish I knew more of his stuff. I should read. Okay, this is Yedid Nefesh. This is the beloved. God is the lover. Israel is the beloved. Don't know where they would have the honeymoon. Okay. Soul made loving God, compassion's gentle source, take my disposition and shape it to your will. Like a darling deer, will I rush to you, before your glorious presence, humbly will I bow. Let your sweet love delight me with its thrill, because no other dainty will my hunger still. How splendid is your light, illumining the world. My soul is weary yearning for your love's delight. Please, good God, to heal her, reveal to her your face, the pleasure of your presence, bathed in your grace. She will find strength and healing in your sight. Forever will she serve you, grateful with all her might. Yai, 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 All right, we haven't done this for a while. Page 15, the first of the six Psalms alluding to the 6 days of creation. Izmirot narialo, Kiel gadol Adonai, Umelech gadol al kol Elohim. Let's read the last 3 stanzas responsively. Harden not your heart in the way of your ancestors, who tried and tested me in the wilderness, even though they had witnessed my miracles. Together 40 years of contending with that generation led me to say, they are wayward, they care not for my ways. In indignation, therefore, did I vow, never would they reach my land, the land of peace, the land of rest. Arba'im shana kut bidor, va'omar, am to'e levavheim, veheim lo yadu derachai, asher nishbati v'api, im yevon el menuchati. All right, continuing now, page 17. Adonai malach tagel haaretz, yismechu im rabim, ahanan varafel sevivav, tzedek u'mishpat bechon kiso. Let's read responsively from the middle of the psalm. I'll start with shame covers those. Shame covers those who worship idols, those who take pride in revering images, which must themselves bow low before God. Together, hearing of your judgments, Adonai, Zion exults, and the cities of Judah rejoice. You are supreme over all the earth, highly exalted beyond all that is worshipped. Those who love Adonai hate evil. God protects the faithful and saves them from the wicked. Light is stored for the righteous, joy for the honorable. Rejoice in Adonai, you who are righteous. Acclaim the holiness of God's name. And the last 2 lines in the Hebrew. Or zaru ala tzadiku lireshre lev simcha, simchu tzadikim badonai, behodu lezecher kadisho. All right, page 21 is the Lachadodi. Lechadodi lekrat kala, Lefnei Shabbat nekabela, Lechadodi lekrat kala, Lefnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha, lecha, dodi, dodi, lecha, dodi lekrat kala, Lefnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, Lefnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Ishmi'anu el ha'miyuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet l'tila. Lecha, lecha, dodi, dodi, lecha, dodi, lekrat kala, Lefnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha, dodi, lekrat kala, Lefnei Shabbat nekabela. Lekrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, Ki mekor ha'veracha, Lerosh mikedem nisucha, Tzot ma'aseh b'machshavat lila. Lecha, lecha, dodi, dodi, lecha, dodi, lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela, Lechatoti lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise, page 22, the fourth stanza. We face the door through which the Sabbath queen will enter. Ohi shalom ateret kala, Gam b'simcha utzala, Tov emunei am segula, Ohi chala, Ohi chala. Lecha, lecha, dodi, dodi, Lecha dodi lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha dodi lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Please be seated, page 23. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat. Reading silently. And the last four lines. Tzadik Amar Yithra Ki Eretz Alvanon Yizkeh Shetulim B'Beit Adonai B'Chatzrot Eloheinu Yavrichu O Yinuvun B'Seiva Tishenim V'Rananim Yehu Lehagid Ki Ashar Adonai Suri V'lo Avlatavo. You can put the prayer books aside. The Torah portion for this Shabbat is Vayikra. It's also Shabbat Zachor, Shabbat Zachor, meaning the Sabbath of remembrance, because this is the Shabbat on which we observe the commandment Zachor et Zecher Amalek. You should remember Amalek. After the Israelites escaped from Egypt, and God split the Sea of Reeds and brought them across dry shod, they were walking along, and it must have been, I always think it's something like 1 o'clock in the morning. And all of a sudden they were attacked in the rear by the Amalekites. The Amalekites were Israel's arch enemy, and God said to, instead of attacking head on, which was the honorable thing to do, they attacked in the rear. When the Israelites walked through the wilderness, they had the young men with the weapons in the front, they had the children and women behind them, and behind them were the elderly struggling to keep up. And instead of attacking in the front, they attacked the rear guard of Israel. And God said, prepare yourself for tomorrow. Joshua will go out and fight the Amalekites, and you will stand or sit on a nearby hill, and as long as you keep your hands up, Israel will prevail. But if you drop your hands, then Amalek will prevail. And the thing is that, well, Moses was no chicken himself, but he could not hold his arms up for that length of time. So he was lucky that he had brought with him Aaron, his brother, and Hur. Hur was actually the father. It's strange because you wouldn't think Kaleb ben Yefuneh would have the name Yefuneh for his father, but as I understand it, Hur was his actual name, and he was later on murdered at the golden calf. But they sat Moses down on this rock, and they held his arms. Aaron held it up on one side, and Hur held it up on the other side, and they held his arms up all day, and Israel prevailed over Amalek. But they did not destroy them completely. And that is why in every generation, when you have anti-Semites, they're considered Amalekites. But you can go too far with this because I'm sure there are plenty of scholars and other people in Israel who are thinking that the Palestinians are the Amalekites. It's a push, it's a stretch. I would not say that. But it is nonetheless called Shabbat Zachor because we remember the essence of Purim, which was to protect ourselves from any anti-Semites. Okay. And we know, for example, that Haman ben Hamedata Agagi, that Haman, the son of Hamedata, the Agagite, Agag was the king of Amalek back in the days of Saul. All right, let's see. So this Shabbat is Vayikra, which means and he called, and Vayikra, Leviticus, is the third book. It is the shortest of the three books, and we don't know if parts of it are missing or not, but it's also called the Torah Kohanim. That is the laws of the Kohanim. The Kohanim were the ones in charge of giving the sacrifices, and this is the book of instructions. Interestingly, back in 1948, when the state of Israel was declared, in the yeshivas, they made special classes for the students who were Kohanim, because they were positive that if the state of Israel, the Commonwealth of Israel, was being declared after so many hundreds of years, then Messiah is on his way, and the temple will be restored to its sacrificial status, and the Kohanim would have to be doing that. Questions, comments?
How did that work out?
It didn't happen. Like so many other lost causes in Jewish history. Yes.
Well, Israel didn't have the temple until 1967.
Oh, right.
So even if they wanted to, they couldn't even go to the Western Wall.
Well, the original place was Shiloh. I don't know where Shiloh is located exactly, but for many
It's near
generations. Sorry?
I think it's near Nablus.
Nablus? Oh, another friendly neighborhood. Okay. Well, anyway.
Is there any reason why the ultra religious can't get some land someplace in Israel and construct a new temple?
It's got to be in the same place.
It's got to be in the same place.
That's right.
Yeah, the Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
That's it. Well, that's Jewish tradition after all. Okay, what is it? They put up a sign on a diner and said this must be the place. There's no place like this place. So you could put that sign up over the Holy Temple as well.
Okay.
Except there is no Holy Temple. It was bulldozed flat by the Romans. Yeah. The only thing we have is that mosque. Okay, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which in its center has a boulder that is supposed to, in our tradition, that's the Eben HaShatiyah. That is the foundation stone that God created, and from that stone he proceeded to create the rest of the earth and the entire universe.
Well, I think that's where the Al-Qaeda was. That's where Isaac was going to be sacrificed.
Yeah, there is a tradition about that.
And that's also for them is where Muhammad ascended heaven.
Yes, he never really died. He ascended to heaven on his horse Al-Buraq. Yes, and he didn't come back either. Okay. All right. Well, what are the laws of Vayikra? How to give sacrifices. Now, when we say the word sacrifice, it's always a negative thing. Oh, I sacrificed myself with breakfast so I can have cake at lunch. Or in baseball, what is the sacrifice play?
It's the bunt, to try to get a guy to second. When he's on first, you want to get him in the scoring position. Or it's a squeeze play, try to get a guy from third home.
But somebody's going to be tagged out.
Oh yeah, you're sacrificing yourself to go out so that you could get a runner or advance a runner.
Yes.
You're giving up something of yourself to achieve another purpose.
Yes, yes, you are.
Someone else.
Right. Okay.
That's Mario Cuomo talking about that on Ken Burns'
Oh, he did that
show,
once?
and he said, it's such a noble sport.
Oh.
Giving up yourself to help somebody else.
I suppose, but I've never been so bored as I went to see a Mets-Phillies doubleheader in 1968. And after I went with Steven Zorowitz, my mother said, "You'll take Steven Zorowitz." And I said, "Why? We're not friends." And she said, "Never mind, I'm friends with his mother." Okay,
Good
so
boy, you took him.
I did. I took him.
Listen to his mother.
To his mother.
Yes, and we were both armed with kosher bologna sandwiches on challah bread. And after we finished the 2 kosher bologna sandwiches, we were surrounded by happy Gentiles drinking beer and eating treif hot dogs. So eventually a man came along and he had these blue plastic trumpets. They were very long. And I sat there and I taught myself to do da-da-da-da-da, charge, da-da-da-da-da. So I had something to do for about 10 minutes. That's how I learned to blow shofar.
Would you blow the shofar?
Yes, but not now, not tonight.
Does a good job.
Oh, he does a wonderful job.
Yes, I'm available to be hired.
And it's a long, long, long shofar.
Yes,
Wow.
I had a tough time getting it through customs. Okay. All right. All right, God calls to Moses from the tent of meeting and communicates to him the laws of the korbanot, the animal and meal sacrifices brought in the sanctuary. Now, not everything was what they call a holocaust, meaning completely consumed by fire. It depended on the type of sacrifice. If you did an olah, that was an ascending offering, and God liked the smell. Okay, God is definitely carnivorous in the Bible. What else? 5 varieties of meal offering, mincha. Mincha. This is why they did that in the afternoon. That's where we get the word mincha for afternoon service. Prepared with fine flour, olive oil, and frankincense. What is frankincense? I know that the wise men brought it to you know who.
Flower.
Flour? That's all? Frankincense is
That's
flour?
very
It's an herb.
perfumed flower.
Oh,
It's
perfumed
like
flour.
incense.
Sorry?
It's incense, isn't it?
But
It's-
it's
yes.
made from flour.
Is it really? Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Okay, the peace offering, shlamim, whose meat was eaten by the one bringing the offering, after parts are burned on the altar and parts are given to the Kohanim, the priests. Now the priests only got certain parts, including the fat on the inside. Jews used to be very fond of eating fatty meat. As a matter of fact, I read that when the Jews started coming to this country in the early 1900s, they were thrilled because fatty meat was cheaper than regular meat. So, anyway. The different types of sin offering, chatat, brought to atone for transgressions, committed erroneously. How do you commit a transgression erroneously? Say, oh, I didn't really mean to do it.
Or you violate some law or commandment without knowing that you violated it.
Mm-hmm. And the rabbi comes along and says, oh, what you did.
Yeah,
I
someone
couldn't tell
comes
you.
and corrects you and
Yes.
points it out to you later
Yes.
on.
Mm-hmm. And finally, the guilt offering, known as asham, brought by one who has misappropriated property of the sanctuary, who is in doubt as to whether he transgressed a divine prohibition, or has committed a betrayal against God by swearing falsely in order to defraud a fellow human being. All this stuff, I know there's a drash from Chabad, and it's not a bad one. It says, Ki yakriv et korbano, when he will bring his sacrifice close to it. The thing is, yakriv means he subjugates his animal nature and becomes holy. That was the idea of the sacrifice. That was the true meaning. And I think that's really wonderful because we're surrounded by temptation in this world. Yes. I don't think there's temptation in heaven. No. Not unless you want to.
How would you know?
Well, when we get there. Houdini said when he died, he was going to, he made a career of exposing fake mediums. And he said, if I make it to heaven, he says, I will come back. And we're still waiting. So,
You can escape from anything, so.
yes, except getting punched in the gut. Yeah. All right, any questions? But I have to say that is pretty much the essence of Vayikra, of Leviticus. It's the laws of the Levites. Okay, please rise. We've got the Baruch Hu on page 28. Stan, would you like to open the doors? Thank you, sir.
Arichu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam Vaed. Amen.
Please be seated. Nothing Anything to report from space? Anything? See something? Falling stars? No? Okay. All right, let's read on 28 on the right-hand side below the line. Let's read this together. Beloved are you, eternal God, by whose design the evening falls, by whose command dimensions open up, and eons pass away, and stars spin in their orbits. You set the rhythms of day and night. The alternation of light and darkness sings your creating word. In rising sun and in spreading dusk, Creator of all, you are made manifest. Eternal, everlasting God, may we always be aware of your dominion. Beloved are you, Adonai, for this hour of nightfall. Baruch atah Adonai, Amari v'Aravim. Amen. Page 30, we cover our eyes for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod, Malchuto, Li'olam Voed. Oops, sorry about that. You shall love, in the English. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you this day, you shall take to heart. Teach them diligently to your children, and recite them at home and away, night and day. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and as a reminder above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. Let's sing the Mi Chamocha on page 32. Mi Chamocha Va'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha Nedor Ba'kodesh, Nohorati Lot Osei Pele, Malchutcha Rovanecha Bokayam Lifnei Moshe, Seili Anu V'Amru, Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Voed, V'nemar, Kifod Adonai et Yaakov, Ugialo mi'ad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Go'al Yisrael. Amen. I'll read the names of the Cholim, the folks who are not well, and then we can add Sheila Bergman, Refuah Shlema, Jerry Besson, Refuah Shlema, Elaine Milans, Refuah Shlema, Rabbi Sachs, Refuah Shlema, Joe Albert, Refuah Shlema, Marsha Y. Roby, Refuah Shlema, Martin Mentor, Refuah Shlema, Paul Dobbs, Refuah Shlema, and Marie Pendergast, Refuah Shlema. Any other names?
Olivia Adelson.
Refuah Shlema.
Jeffrey Stern.
Refuah Shlema. All right, let's read the English paragraph. Also, the brother of one of my students, I can't remember his name, Refuah Shlema. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace, and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace, now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praise to you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people Israel, over Jerusalem and the entire world. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Aporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisroel, v'al Yerushalayim, v'al kol ha'olam kulo. Amen. 34. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, Lasot et HaShabbat l'dor
berit olam, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti liolam, oti liolam, oti liolam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vaynafash, Shabbat vaynafash, Shabbat vaynafash, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Please rise. Yitkadal, Yitkadal, Shemei Rabbah, Amen. Yalmad Yivrach Hirute, V'yamlich Malchute, V'chayechon uvyomechon, Uvchayet l'chol Beit Yisrael, Barala, Barala, Uvizman Kariv, V'meru, Amen. Yeshmei Rabbah Mevorach, Leolam Leol Leolmaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, Yitpoar, V'yitrovam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, Yitalal, Shemei Dekudesha Brichu, Li'ela, Bimkol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Gam nihiran v'yalema, v'yimeru, Amen. The Amidah, 35b to 38. When you're done, you may be seated.
Let's turn please to page 48. Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu Ritzei v'mnuchoteinu Kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha V'tein chelkeinu b'torotecha Zabeinu mituvecha V'samcheinu b'techa V'taher libeinu Li'avdecha b'yemet V'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu Hi'ava uvratzon Shabbat kodshecha V'yanuchu vo Yisrael V'kadeshei Shemecha Baruch atah Adonai V'kadesh HaShabbat Yitkadav Yikadashim Me'rabah Amen Yalmad Yivrach Chirutei V'yimliach Malchutei V'chayechon V'yimechon V'chay L'chol Beit Yisrael V'agalav V'zman Kariv Yimru Amen Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Olam Li'olam Le'olmaya Yivarach Yivarach V'yishtabach V'yipoar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh V'yichadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shmei L'Kudesha B'richu V'yilam En Kovachata V'shirata Tushbchata V'nechamata Damiran Li'ama V'yimru Amen V'yitabal Tzlaton Uvutun V'chai Yisrael Kedam Vundi V'shmaya V'yimru Amen Yehi Shalom Arabah Min Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu V'al Yisrael V'yimru Amen V'oseh Shalom V'imromav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yimru Amen Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel V'yimru Amen. All right, please rise. 49 for the Kiddush. Savrimornan Rabbanan Rabbatai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei pri hakafen Amen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kishanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu V'shabbat kadsho v'yahava uvratzon hilanu Zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit Kilu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh Zecher l'tziyat Mitzrayim Kimanu v'acharta V'otanu kidasha Mikol ha'amim V'shabbat kadshecha V'yahava uvratzon Hilchotanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat Amen. Chaim l'shalom of simchas.
Thank you.
There's extra. It's extra.
All right, we have the Aleinu on page 51. Please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol l'ateit gdula liotzer reshit shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot v'la samanu mishpachot hadama Shelo Sam Elkeinu Kohen, Vigor Aleinu Kechol Hamonam, Anachnu Korim, Umishtachavim U'odim, Lifnei Melech, Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shemunat Shamayim v'Yosei Haaretz, U'Moshe B'Karo B'Shamayim Imam, U'Shchinatu Zo, U'Shchinatu Zo, V'Gavei V'Romi, U'Eloheinu Eino, Evet Malkeinu, Efes Ulato, Kakatu, V'Torato, V'Yadatayom, V'Yadatayom, V'Hashevota, Elevavecha, Ki Adonai, Hu Elohim, Hashamayim, Mima'al, V'Al Haaretz, V'Al Haaretz, V'Yitachar Einod, V'Nemar, V'Haya Adonai, L'Melech Al Kol Haaretz, V'Yom Hahu, Yeh Adonai Echad, U'Shemo, U'Shemo, U'Shemo Echad, U'Shemo Echad. Please remain standing for the mourner's Kaddish in honor and in memory of our brothers and sisters in the state of Israel. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Amen. Yalmad yivrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayei v'mechon v'chayei v'chol Beit Yisrael. V'agalau b'zman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach li'olam u'leil maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipo'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei dekudesha b'richu. Me'ela min kol berachata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, ta'amiran v'yalma v'yimru, Amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'yal kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru, Amen. All right, you may be seated. And the announcements were delivered very nicely at the beginning of the service. So we'll just pick it up from 54 with the Adon Olam. Let's try Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, the final movement, the Song of Joy. Adon Olam Hashem Olach B'Terem Kol Yitzir Nivra V'Eit Nasa V'Chertzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nigra V'Acharei Yichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Hu Haya V'Hu Hoveh V'Hu Yeh B'Tifara Hu Echad V'Ein Sheni Lehamshilo Lehachbira B'li Reshit B'li Tachlit V'lo Ha'os V'Ha'misra Hu Eli V'chai Goali V'sur Chevli B'Eitzara Hu Nisi Hu Manosli V'not Kosi Hiyom Ekra Yado Avkid Ruchi V'Eiti Shan V'Aira Imruchi Yeviati Adonai Li V'Lo Ira. Please rise for the closing benediction. Yivarechacha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Yo'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May the Lord turn his face into you and grant you peace. We'll say amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Hey,
Shabbat shalom.
hey,
Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
hey,
Shabbat shalom.
hey.
Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom.